Hey everyone, welcome to Coding Simplified, and now we'll see another question in graph. So basically we are given a directed graph here and we need to find out that whether this directed graph has cycle or not, right? So in our previous video also we solved the same question, but there we solved the question using the InDegree and using BFS, and here we'll solve this question using DFS, right? So our question remains the same, that we need to check whether there is cycle exist in a directed graph or not. Like here if you see in this graph, here we have cycle. We start from 0, and cycle means that if I start from a particular point and if you reach to that point, then we have a cycle here. Like here if you see this 0, if I start from 0 to 1, then 1 to 2, then again 2 to 0, we have a path. So it means there is a cycle. Now let's say if it has something like this, 2 and then 0 to 2. So in this case there is no cycle, because from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, then I cannot reach to 2 to 0. Similarly, let's say if I start from 1, so from 1 to 2 I can go, but I cannot go further. Then from 2 I cannot go any further. Now let's say this graph. So here we have 1, here we have 2, and then here we have 3, and let's say from 3 we again go to 1. Now if you see from this point we don't have any issue, because from this point 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, there is no cycle, right? And from there is no way from 3 to 0 or from 2 to 0. But so it means from here, from this point there is no cycle. But if I start from 1, then there exists a cycle. From 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 1, there exists a cycle. So it means that it is not necessary that cycle can be on a particular point or starting point. Cycle can be at any point, right? So the first point it has that basically we need to operate from all the points from I equals to 0 to n, and for each point we'll apply the DFS for this n, right? So now what we'll check, for each point we'll check that whether there is a cycle here or not, and if for any point there is a cycle exist, so we can say yes, they return. So we can say if there exists a cycle for this and if it returns, so we can say return true, right? So that you understood that we need to iterate for each and every point. Now the second point is, let's take this example. So here let's say if I am starting from 0, so we know that whenever we solve the DFS, we take a widgeted array. So in the widgeted array, what we do, we basically keep on filling the value true whenever we have widgeted any particular element. And what we are saying that for any index, if we start from this index and if we again reach to that index, so we can say that there exists a cycle. And let's say if we can solve only by using the widgeted array. So here we have the widgeted array, and because there we have only 3 elements, so just write 0, 1, 3, and at the starting all the values are false because this is widgeted array. So what will happen? We'll start from 0 and I will put here true value here. Now because the neighbor of 0 is 1, so I'll immediately go here, and then I will mark here widgeted, and then the neighbor of 1 is 2, so again I will mark here as a true here. So now if you see that the neighbor of 2 is 0, so if the neighbor of 2 is 0 and if 0 is already widgeted, because we can check from here that if it is widgeted, so can we say that in this case this is a cycle? So you can say yes, why not just solve using this widgeted array? Because what we can do, if we are saying that if I start from here and if I again reach to here, so I can simply check that whether if it is value is true, then there exists a cycle. But the point is that this is not always true. Just by this widgeted array we cannot solve the question. Take this example. In this case what will happen, at the starting all the values are false, so again this is widgeted array. Now I start from this 0, so I will mark this value as true, and then I will check what is the neighbor of 0. The neighbor of 0 is 1. It means now I will operate on this one, so again I will mark this value is true. Now if you see the neighbor of 1 is 2, so it means I will operate on this one, so it means I will operate on this one, so it means I will mark this as a true. Now from 2 I cannot go anywhere, right? From 2 I cannot go anywhere, so it means for 2 we are done. But the point is from 0 I can go either to 1 or I can go to 2. So after completing this path, then I will operate on this one because both are neighbor. So we have completed this neighbor. Now I will operate this one. So when it will check this one 0 to 2, and it will find out that this 0 is already widgeted. So according to our logic, we are saying that if 0 is already widgeted, if any element is already widgeted, it means there is a cycle. But here, even though this is true, even this is widgeted, but there is no cycle. right? So it means we cannot solve just by taking this visited array. Now if you see the problem here we have the two neighbors. For this 0 we have the one neighbor 1 and the another path is for this neighbor. Let's see this case first. Here we have only one neighbor. So for 0 we started from 0, then we went to 1, then we went to 2, and then we again went to 0. So in the same path, in the same neighbor path, we are getting this 0 again, right? So that is why we could say that here we have the cycle. But here if you see what happened, we started from 0, then we went to 1, then we went to 2, and after that there is no path, because from 2 I cannot go to 0, right? So this was the one path. Now in another path, when we appear this second neighbor, because this 2 has the neighbor of 0 also, then in second part we move to from 0 to 2, right? So it means here it was in the one stack, here it was in the one path, because we are doing DFS, and we know that in DFS what we do, we basically solve using the stack, or we can have the recursive approach. In recursive also we take the stack. So here what is happening, here if you see that first of all we are putting 0, then we are putting 1, then we are putting 2, and then we are again getting the 0 here, right? So this is what it was happening here in this case. But if you see here what is happening, here first of all we went to 0, then we went to 1, then we went to 2, and now after that there is no path, right? So what we need to do, we need to basically take care that when we are going back, because from 2 there is no path, so when we are going back, so it means we need to remove this value from the stack, right? So now what will happen, that from this 2, when we will go back, then we'll remove the here. From 1 also we will go back, then again we'll remove the from value here, and then I will go to 2, then I will put the value here in the stack, right? So now because we have this path 0 to 2 path, earlier the path was 0 1 2, now the path is 0 2. So now if you see that even this 2 is visited, but now this is not in this recursive stack, because this is, we are calling this is recursive stack, right? So here is the point is, that is why it is very important that we identify, we basically always update this recursive stack, that if the value is appearing on the same stack, then only we'll say that we have the cycle. Otherwise we don't have cycle, like happened in this case, right? Now the point is that how would you calculate or how would you maintain this recursive stack? So for that what we can do, for that we can take a array, and for that rather than, so here we have this visited array, and with this visited array we'll have this recursive array as well, and from here we'll maintain the value. So let's start from here. Now we are starting DFS from this point. So whenever we are putting any value, first of all we check that whether this value already exists in the recursive stack, means this case. And how we can get that? We have the index, so we can directly check that whether the value is true or false. At the starting, all the values are false here and all the values are false here. This is recursive stack. This is a representation of recursive stack, and it's a representation of visited. Now what will happen? So whenever we are putting any value, first of all we'll check that if this value is true in the recursive stack, it means this is in same stack, so we'll say there is a cycle, right? And if it is not, so we'll check with the visited. Now for this 0, it is false in the recursive stack, and it is false in visited also. So we'll put true here, and at the same point we'll put true here. It means now I have put this 0 in the recursive stack. So it means this is something like this, that I have put 0 here. Now my next point is 1. So it means the neighbor of 0 is 1. It means I'll again check whether this 1 is in the recursive stack. So 1 is not in recursive stack, and 1 is also not in visited. So if 1 is not in visited, so it means put mark here true, and here also mark true. So it means what is this? This is something like this, that in the recursive stack now we have 0 and 1. Now the neighbor of 1 is 2. So again we check that whether this 2 is already in the recursive stack. So this 2 is not in recursive stack. It means there is no cycle till yet. Now check that whether this 2 is in a visited, so 2 is also not in visited. It means put value true here, and here also true. So it means what is something like this? So 2 is also in the recursive stack. Now let's say this example. So this is till now something like this, that we have 0, 1, 2, and now from the 2, what is the neighbor of 2? Let's say if we are solving this case for this one. Now for the 2, the neighbor is 0. So the neighbor is 0, it means then it will check for the 0. That whether this 0 is already in the recursion stack. So yes, for this 0, this value is already in the recursive stack. It means that we have a cycle here, right? So this is the way we can check that whether there is cycle or not. But because we are solving this one, so for this case what will happen, that for this 2 there is no neighbor, right? So if for this 2 there is no neighbor, it means we are done with this 2. Now we need to remove from the stack. So when we remove from the stack, it means what we do, we basically set the value false here. So we are removing this 2, it means for here we are setting the value true here, false here, right? And we will return false, that for this 2 there is no cycle, means for this point there is no cycle. Now we go to 1, because there was only 1 point for 1. So for 1 also what we will do, for 1 also there is no cycle, so we'll set the value false here and we will remove from the stack. So this is just a representation. It means we are removing the value from the stack, right? Now we have the 0. So for the 0 we have the 2 neighbors. The 1 neighbor we have already covered, so it means our 1 stack is done 0, 1, 2, and in this path there was no cycle. Now the another path, now we need to cover 0 to 2. So it means what is the neighbor of what is another neighbor of 0? Another neighbor is 2. It means now check whether this 2 is already in the recursive stack. So this 2 is not in the recursive stack. You see here that we have set the value false. So that is why it is important that whenever we are done with this, we need to set the value false here, right? So this 2 is not in the recursive stack, but this 2 is already in the visited. It means, so what it means? It means if 2 is already in the visited stack, it means that we have already covered this value and there was no cycle in this case. So it means we can directly, if this value is visited, we can directly say that there is no cycle for this particular index. So for here we'll also return false. So this will also return false. So it means now we are done, and for this 0 we have covered 0 and 1 both the cases, right? So at the last, if our stack is empty and there is no cycle, so we can say there is no cycle at all. So how we have solved the question? That with the visited array we have taken this recursive stack array as well, and with the help of this one, then we are solving that. The point is that if the same value is appearing in the recursive stack, then there is a cycle. Like this case, this is a clear example. 0, first we inserted 0, 1, 2 and 0, so there was cycle. But in this case there was no cycle, right? So that is why whenever we need to again go back, we need to remove the element. Now let's take one more example. Now let's take this example. Here we have 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and then we have 0 to 2, then we have 0 to 3, and then 3 to 4 we have, and then 4 to 0. So it means we have cycle in this case. In this case we have cycle, right? But because we are solving in the recursive manner and we are solving the DFS, so when we start from this 0, first of all it will go to this 1. So what will happen for this section? For this section we have already covered, right? For this 0, 1, 2, for this 0, 1, 2, we have already seen that there is no cycle and why there was no cycle. So let's see one by one again so that we can know. So first of all, what will happen? That here we have this visited array and here we have this recursive stack array, right? And how many nodes we have? We have 5 nodes. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is visited and this is recursive stack. So unit 2 important because here we generally get the confusion that what is recursive stack. So recursive stack means that when we are solving the DFS, then how this stack is behaving or what elements are there. So whatever the elements are there, for these values we set the value true here, otherwise we set the false here. So at the starting, because though there is no element, so we are setting false here, and here also all the values are false. So we start from 0. So whenever we start from 0, we first of all check that whether this value already in the recursive stack, no. Whether this value is already in the visited, no. So it means mark the value true here and mark the value true here. Now what is the neighbor? Now the neighbor of 0 is this one. So again, because this is a graph, so we can represent the graph using adjacency matrix or adjacency list. So let's say if I am defining this graph as adjacency list, so here how I will define? For 0, 1 is the neighbor, means 1 it can go to 1. For 1 it can go to 2, and for 0 it can go to 2 also, it can go to 3 also, right? For 1 it can go to only 2. For 2 there is no path, so it is blank list. For 3 it can go to 4, and for 4 it can go to 0, right? So when we have done this one, so first of all I'll basically operate on all the neighbors. I'll operate the recursive on all the neighbors. So as soon as I do the DFS, so this is the first element 1. So it means for 1 I check that whether this value already in the recursive stack. So it says no. So because this was the 1, so let me put here value here. So it means if you see here, we have put the value 0 here. So it means this value is true now. Now the neighbor of 0 is 1. The first neighbor is 1. So we immediately call the DFS on this one. Now here we have the 1. So it means we check that whether 1 is already in the recursive stack. So it says no, 1 is not in recursive stack. And here also this is not in the widgeted. It means we put the value here true and we put the value here true. So when you put the value here true, it means what it means? It means in recursive stack now we have one value as well. Now again we check the neighbor of 1. So we can get the neighbor from this list. This is adjacency list, right? Where each index has the list and this list represents how many neighbors or where it can go. Now for one case we have only 2, so it will give me 2. Now I will check that whether this 2 is a recursive stack. So this is not. It means I'll put true here and this is also not in widgeted, so I'll put true here as well. Now for this 2 there is no neighbor. This is blank list. It means we can't do anything, right? So it means I need to return from here. So if I need to return from here, so what I do, I basically return the false and then I set the value here false. So when I set the value false here, it means I have removed the 2 from here. Now I again go to back. Now for this one there is only one neighbor. Let's say if there was another neighbor, let's say 5, then again we need to go from 1 to 5. But because there is only one neighbor, so we need not to go anywhere. So for 1 also we are again going back. So we are again going back, it means for this also we are setting false. So we are setting false, it means now in stack we have removed the 1 as also. Now we are at 0. Now for this 0, this stack we have covered. So for 0, 1, 2 path we have covered. Now we will go to next neighbor. So next neighbor is 2. So the next neighbor is 2. Now we'll check that whether this 2 is in the recursive stack. So 2 is not in recursive stack. It means there is no cycle. But this 2 is in the widgeted mark. So if 2 is already in the widgeted, it means there is no need to check further because we have already checked for this 2 and there was no cycle from this point. So if this value already in the widgeted, it means I have already widgeted this. So you can simply return false, that there is no cycle for this case. So it means again I will return the false. So now if I return the false, so now I will go here again back. Now for this 0 we have another neighbor 3. So now it will go to 3. So it will check whether this 3 is in the recursive stack. No. Whether 3 is widgeted. No. 3 is not widgeted. It means I need to widget the 3. So I'll mark the widget here true and also here I will mark the widget here true. It means now here in stack I have put the 3. So it means now my stack is going from 0 to 3 and then I'll go further. Now for the 3 we have the neighbor 4. It means I will check that whether this 4 already in the recursive stack. No. And whether this 4 is widgeted. No. It means widget this value, widget this index and mark the value here true. So it means now in the recursive stack I have put the 4 here, right? So it means my path is 0, 3, 4. Now I will check the neighbor of 4. The neighbor of 4 is 0. Now check whether this 4 already in the recursive stack. So yes, if you see here for this 0, because the neighbor of 4 is 0 and this 0 is already true value here in the recursive stack. So it means what is happening? It means I will basically after 4 it will be 0 and this 0 has already appeared in the recursive stack. So it means there is a cycle. There is a cycle from 0, 3, 4, 0. This, right? So it means we have a cycle from here 0, 3, 4, 0 and because the value was already appeared in the recursive stack, so it means there is a case that we have a cycle, right? So we have done the 3 examples. So I hope you have got the point what we are doing, that we are doing the simple DFS and with the DFS. In DFS we only take the widgeted array and we are also taking the recursive stack, right? The point is that DFS also happens in the recursive manner, like this way also happens, but it's just that we need to maintain that whether this value already appeared in the recursive stack or not. So for that we are taking the array, right? So in the code when I will explain you, so you won't get this stack. This is just a representation. This is just a representation that how we are storing the value, and whenever we have the value here, then we are setting the value here true. If whenever we are removing, means whenever we are going back, so we are setting the value here false. So let me show you the code so that you can get it better how it is happening. So here I have the 5 nodes, and then I'm initializing this graph with the nodes. So if you see that, first of all, my aim is that I should initialize the graph, and we know that I can initialize the graph here using adjacency list. So basically what I'm doing, that here I'm defining a list. So this is a list of list, where each list is basically, each index is representing a list. So that is why here we have this graph, and where I'm initializing a list. Now I have two array, one array is visited and one array is recursive. So this is a recursive stake. So basically, rather than just recursive, I can also mention here recursive stake. Now my point is to initialize this one. So size will be equals to the node size, that how many nodes I have. So now here if you see, the visited is equals to new boolean nodes, and the recursive stake is new boolean nodes. So this is how I'm initializing both the array. And then I'm initializing that this dot node equal to this nodes. Now for each index I have the list. So that is why I'm initializing with the blank list. So for each index I'm adding a new blank list. So this is basically the representation of the graph using adjacency list, right? So once we have defined the graph, now I'm adding the edges. So how I'm adding the edges? Because this is directed graph, so what I'm saying that get me the list at this particular index, and then I want to add this value at this one. It means, let's say if there is a age from 0 to 1, so first of all it will get the list present at the 0th, and then it will add this value at that list, right? So this is how it will add the edge. And now if you see that, because this is a directed graph, so we are adding the edge only in one direction. Now after that, what we are doing, now we are calling the function if directed graph has cycle. So here, as we explained, that for each node we need to check, for each index we need to check that whether there is a cycle or not, because it can happen that for the 0th index there is no cycle, then for the first also I need to check. So that is why we are saying that if at any point we get the true, so in this case we can return the true, otherwise we will return the false here, that there is no cycle. And here we have the DFS. So as we explained, first of all, whenever I am operating on a particular index, I check in the recursive stake that if the value in the recursive stake is true, and if the value is true, it means this is the second time this value is appearing in the stake. It means there is a cycle. So in this case I can return true, right? But let's say if it is not in the recursive stake, it means there is no cycle for this index, means this index is first time. Now if I am checking that if this value is already visited, so if this value is already visited, it means I have already checked that value and there was no cycle from this value, so you need not to check it again. So it means at this point I can simply return false, that there is no cycle. So basically this DFS will return that whether there is a cycle or not. So I can also write here something like this, that rather than DFS I can say if cycle exists, right? So what will happen? So this will basically return. So in this case, if the element is already visited, it can say that it is already visited, no need to check, there is no cycle for this case. Now if both are false, it means in this case I will set the visited as true and recursive stake is also true. Now I'll get the neighbors list for this index, and one by one I will operate this again, recursively call this if cycle exists for this particular neighbor. Because you saw that in our case that from this 0 there was three values, from 0 to 1, then from 0 to 2, and from 0 to 3. So we need to check with each neighbor, we need to check the path from each neighbor, because the cycle can be in any path. So that is why first of all we are checking with this first path, with the first neighbor from 0 to 1. So if there is no cycle in this one, if there is no cycle from 0, 1, 2 path, then we are checking from second neighbor, which is 0 to 2, right? Like this case. So if when there was no path from 0, 1, 2, then we are checking from 0 to 2, and even there was no path from 0 to 2, then we are checking from this path, right? So this is why we are checking for each neighbor, and for each neighbor we are checking, and for every neighbor, if it is not returning cycle, that if there is no cycle, so what we need to do, that whenever we are returning back, so we need to set this value false in the recursive stake, that there is no cycle, and then we are returning false. So this is the way, so that I can basically removing the value from the stake, right? So this is how I'm setting that for this value, now this is no longer in the stake, I can set the value as false, and then you can return the false, right? So what will happen, that if at any point if it exists a cycle, so it will return true, otherwise it will return false at the last. And similarly, if there is no cycle, so at the last we can return false. right? So this is how we can check that whether there is a cycle exists or not in the given directed graph. Now if you see the time complexity in this case, so basically what is happening, that here if you have the v vertices, so we are basically covering all the vertices, right? And if there are e edges, so we are covering all the edges. And if you see that once we have covered the one vertex, so we are not covering again, so it means it will be the linear case. Similarly, we are covering all the edges, right? So my time complexity will be big of v plus e. Now if you talk about the space complexity, so because here we are taking two arrays which are storing the indexes, and the size is equals to the vertexes, so it means that space complexity will be big of v, right? So that's it about this video, and if you have any doubts then please write in the comment section. I will try to explain that, and I will also put the source code into description section, so if you want then you can also get it from there. So that's it, and if you have liked the video then please like it and subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.